From 1885 to 1951, Indigenous potlatch ceremonies were banned in Canada. These are ceremonies that mark significant moments of importance in a person's life, moments like marriage, divorce, the passage of rites. But many of these sacred objects used in that tradition, including ceremonial mass, were confiscated and never returned.
Really, the mask is a tool. It's a tool for transformation. When you cover the face, you literally transform the individual human. But it's the ceremony.
So Surreal, Behind the Mask, is a film that journeys around the world to figure out what happened to the masks belonging to the Yupik and Kwakwaka'wakw nations. The film is screening at the Toronto International Film Festival. Directors Neil Diamond and Joanne Robertson are here with us this morning, and it's so good to have you in studio.
Thanks
for being here.
Thanks for having us.
I was just saying off camera, one of the things you notice right out of the gate with this film, it is so beautifully shot, but the use of sound here and the editing is quite brilliant.
Yeah. Thanks for mentioning our...
Yeah, our editor is Rebecca Lessard, who's from Montreal. And she also did a previous film that we did called Red Fever.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
And she's a brilliant researcher as well.
And she did a lot of the visual research as well that you see in the film.
Well, it's such a collaboration between all of these amazing pieces that you both put together. You two have worked together for, what, 25 years on numerous projects?
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Has it been that long?
It's been that long, yeah. We started working together in the late 90s.
Yeah.
And not consistently through the 25 years, but we've done a lot of series together. And
what was it about this story that you wanted to tell?
Well, I think Joanne is the one who discovered the story. So she can tell you about that.
It was so long ago. We started working on it in 2018.
Oh, wow.
And we had, I think it was a collaboration. It was sort of like a rabbit holes that we were going down around the influence, Indigenous influence on art. And we stumbled across this story, and the story kept getting bigger and bigger, and then it really was clear that it was its own film.
And let's talk about the importance, Neil, of the ceremonial mask. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, especially the Kwakwaka'wakw people, they want these objects back. They were stolen in the 20s, I believe it was, and sold to museums, and they ended up like away from their home. And these objects, they belong to certain families, and it tells their history, their origin stories of these families, and it's very important to them. But for the Yupik people, what would happen is once the ceremony was held, the masks would be burned or just left out on the tundra, so they don't necessarily want them back. But the Kwakwaka'wakw, they've been searching for them for quite a few years now. And they actually built a museum to house them, which is like kind of ironic, but because of when they had their ceremonies, they would be all put away in boxes and not seen again until the next potlatch ceremony. So, and now they're all in museums.
And throughout the film, the difficulty in tracing and tracking these masks. Can you talk to us about that a little bit?
Well, I think one of the things that I really came away with from this film is a huge takeaway for myself as a settler, and in terms of like educating, is that like you go into a museum, you see these pieces, you know, I go in now and I have a better understanding, okay, these pieces belong to families, they have stories, they have their own histories, and a lot of them, communities and folks are asking for them back. But in terms of like tracing them, you know, so many of these cultural belongings are in museum basements, you know, they're in boxes. So it takes like the potlatch collection, the people at Umista Cultural Center who are doing an incredible job out there, Juanita Johnson. You know, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, as Neil says often. Art catalogs and so on, it's detective work.
It's absolutely
It's really hard,
work.
yeah.
And to think that, you know, a lot of the times when the call-outs are made or you're trying to discover and uncover, you're met with silence. Right?
Yes.
Which is really interesting, too.
In the case of the film, there's lots of silence. Crickets.
I think, they're very protective of each other, so...
in the art world,
It is a beautiful piece and a very important story to tell. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And congratulations on the film. And So Surreal Behind the Mask, everybody, will be screening for the second screening today that's happening at the Scotiabank Theatre in Toronto for the Toronto International Film Festival.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.